Hello, you're tuned into the Black Nation of Israel. Before I get started with the video, I would like to say a disclaimer. I would like to say that I'm not a part of any group or organization, and I'm not in favor or approve of any violence or hate against any group or people of a particular race. I don't lead people to violence, to commit violence against another particular race on this channel. Okay, let's get started with the video, with the subject of the video. Okay, this is in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, starting in verse 1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people." Now, just hold up right there. Michael, the archangel. Michael is the archangel. You know, many people say that Michael is Christ, the Messiah, but that's not true. You know, Michael is the archangel. He's the highest of the angels. He has more power than Gabriel or any other angels. And Christ the Messiah is higher than Michael. Michael take orders from Christ the Messiah. Christ is the one who sent Michael. He's the one who sends Michael. In the time Michael is needed, Christ is the one who sent him. Because on this channel, I teach that Christ is in the Old Testament, is in the Torah as well. Okay. Continuing. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered." Okay, hold up right there. It say, "And at that time thy people shall be delivered." At that time thy people shall be delivered. I looked up thy people in the Blue Letter Bible.org. Strong's excuse me. Strong's H5971. The word is Am. The definition of thy people is a people as a congregated unit, specifically a tribe, as those of Israel. As those of Israel. That's the definition of thy people. It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered. The only people who needs to be delivered in this world, in the Western Hemisphere, is the Negroes of slave descent. The only people that needs to be delivered and is oppressed is the Negroes of slave descent. Thy people is the Israelites. And we Negroes fit that description, who make up the 12 tribes of Israel. The tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is in the Western Hemisphere, and the other 10 tribes in Africa. Well, parts of Levi, because Levi, some of Levi went into Benjamin and Judah. So that's why you have 10 tribes in Africa and parts of the Middle East. So, yeah, and the Negroes is the only ones that's oppressed, that need to be delivered, you see. Okay, continuing. Everyone that shall be found written in the book, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. You know, Paul in the New Testament, he spoke about this. Paul in the New Testament, he spoke about this. This is why us Messianic Israelites, we teach that the New Testament interprets the Old Testament. It backs the Old Testament up. Verse 3, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Okay, hold up right there. It say knowledge shall be increased. We see that now with us Israelites. We coming into the knowledge that who we are, the awakening. Knowledge is increased among the Negroes of slave descent. We came into the realization that we are the Israelites now, not just going to church anymore. We have been awakened and came on a new level and a new spiritual level. Those of us of the elect who have came into the awakening, have came into the knowledge that we are Israelites. We are the Israelites that the Bible is speaking about. It is saying, and knowledge shall be increased. And also it's talking about the world in general, that the knowledge shall be increased. Because look at the cloning technology. Cloning do exist. The cloning technology with the smartphones and the tablets that the heathen other nations is putting out, that they are inventing and putting out. You see. Verse 5, then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and said by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, times and in half. Okay, hold up right there. You see where it says time, when he say a time and times and a half, how long, he asked the man, how long will it be? He say, for a time, times and a half. That times and a half is 3.5 years. When you go to the book of Revelation, let's go to the book of Revelation, and we will see that this is why we say the New Testament backs up the Old Testament. It interprets the Old Testament. 11 and 2, chapter 11, verse 2. This is concerning the prophecy of the two witnesses that will be on the earth in the last days. Okay, it reads, but the court which is without the temple leave out. Okay, I'm gonna let the plane go by. It says, but the court which is without the temple leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread upon 42. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 months. Now the 40 months equals up to 3.5 years. 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And verse 3, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. Now 1,260. That word 60 means 60. 1,260. 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. That equals out to 3.5 years. The 60 in the book of Daniel means 60. The 60 means 60. 1,260 days. Now I'm gonna read the book of Revelation, chapter 12. Chapter 12, starting in verse 13 through 17. John the Revelator in the book of Revelations is in agreement with Daniel. He is in agreement with Daniel. And this is talking about when the dragon's persecution of the woman, or Satan's persecution of the woman is Israel, the nation of Israel. And this will take place in the last days, in the latter part of the last days. It says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. The man-child is Christ. And this initially happened when Christ was born during the time of Herod. This is when Joseph and Mary fled into Egypt with Christ when he was a child. This is when that happened, when when Joseph and Mary fled into Egypt from Herod's persecution when Christ was a child. Verse 14, and up, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she may fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time. You see that? So we see that the book of Revelation backs up the Old Testament, the book of Daniel. This is why I say that the New Testament interprets the Old Testament. It's right here in verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, times and half a time, from the face of the serpent. It's right there. Daniel saying it, the Old Testament in Daniel, and in the New Testament, it's saying it. And Israel, we're going to go into a wilderness again, a second wilderness, after we leave America. Verse 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth or angry with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim, and have the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach, or in English, Jesus Christ. You see that? Okay, just remember this: the New Testament backs up the Old Testament times and half a time. Daniel's saying the same thing. Okay, now let's go back to Daniel and finish up where we left off. Let's see. And when, verse 7, and it shall be for a time, times and half a time, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. This is talking about during the time of the Antichrist as well. See, the Antichrist is going to be ruling at this time. It say, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. The holy people is this holy means set apart. The set apart people. That's the Israelites. The Negroes who make up the 12 tribes of Israel. All these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go thy way, Daniel. The words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white, and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. You know, that's a glimpse into this world right now. You know, none of the wicked shall understand. You know, they don't care about the things of this book, what this book is saying. But the wise, the ones who seek truth and read the scriptures, shall understand these things. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolation set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,335 days. That means 35 days. 1,335 days. But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. Okay, this is the end of the video. Peace.